Ladies and gentlemen, welcome you to the Charlotte Motor Speedway down here in Concord, North Carolina for today's 2015 Sprint All-Star Race. 22 drivers racing for $1 million tonight, as there are no points on the line, just money. On the pole is your 2012 champion Brad Keselowski, a guy who's never won the $1 million race. It's today the day. On the outside is Joe Gibbs number 20 of Matt Kenseth. Row 2. The 2008 winner, Kasey Kahne, alongside the 2011 winner, Carl Edwards. And running up the top 5 is the 2010 winner, Kurt Busch. Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon, and last year's winner, Jamie McMurray, your top 10. That is all of the pre-race news. Let's sit it down trackside so we can get the most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines.
Now coming up now, it is your starting grid for tonight's Sprint All-Star Race. We'll be right back in just a moment. Back live here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway as we were just given the one to go. Brad Keselowski, the number 2, carrying a special paint scheme this weekend at Charlotte. Silverish white Miller Lite Ford. We'll lead the field down in the green flag. On the outside, we got a couple of Joe Gibbs Toyotas, Matt Kenseth, and Carl Edwards. Then you got Kasey Kahne, Kurt Busch lined up on the inside with Denny Hamlin, Jeff Gordon. Racing their way into tonight's race, the number 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He won yesterday's Sprint Showdown. Clint Bowyer was runner-up, so those two drivers advanced. And Kyle Larson won the Sprint Fan Vote over Chase Elliott and Martin Truex. So Larson, Stenhouse, and Bowyer racing tonight. But up front, Keselowski and Kenseth in front row. 30 laps of racing, $1 million on the line. The fans are on their feet, and we are racing in the Sprint All-Star Race for 2015. Kasey Kahne gets a great jump on the back bumper of the 2 of Brad Keselowski. The race down into turn 1 for the first time today. Already making contact from behind. Kahne on the inside of Brad Keselowski as we have cars pushing each other down in turn 1. Kahne on the inside off turn 2. Kenseth stays right behind the 2, just with them down the back straight away, but Kahne fighting back down in turn 3. Kenseth on the outside stays in front of the Great Clip Chevrolet. Kahne the 3rd, Kurt Busch, and Denny Hamlin, your top 5 at the line. Denny now to the inside of Kurt Busch. That is for 4th place. Jeff Gordon in his final race in the Sprint All-Star Race, trying to get one more $1 million. And Kenseth right on the back bomber, pushes them 2 down in the turn 3. Matt won this race back in 2003. I believe we raced Ryan Newman for that win. Can't quite remember. Matt out, and right now Matt is in 2nd behind Keselowski. Kasey Kahne will be 3rd. Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch your top 5. Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards, Joey Logano now moving by Kevin Harvick. That'll be for 8th place. Harvick the 9th, and Brian Vickers right now completes your top 10. Last year's winner McMurray in 11th, Kyle Busch, Greg Biffle, Allmendinger, Slide Side Jr., and Johnson and Newman to the inside. He can pass on the inside if you have a good handling car, but otherwise the car on the outside is going to get that momentum off turn 2 and 4. And like up here, we have Kenseth battling the number 2, Brad Keselowski, for the lead. And here comes Kenseth's teammate Denny Hamlin, right behind the 2 guys battling for the lead. And Denny is right behind his teammate Kenseth, maybe possibly trying to give him a little draft. And look how quickly the 11 caught him. Kenseth has won this race before, but Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski has not. And Kenseth to the lead. He clears Keselowski off turn 2. But now he has his teammate in 2nd. Denny Hamlin up to 2nd. He clears Brad. Jeff Gordon and Kurt Busch 4th and 5th. Now they're catching the 2 car. Brad is expected to have another special paint scheme next weekend at Charlotte. Not sure if it'll be the same paint scheme as this weekend, but we'll see. As he moves back to the inside of the 11 of Hamlin, then he keeps that foot on the gas and he stays out in front of the 2 of Keselowski. Gordon now on the back bumper of the 2 with Kurt Busch pushing him. Now you got Logano on the inside of Carl Edwards in the 19, and we got 3 wide. Gordon, almost gets turned by the 41 of Kurt Busch. That will allow the 2 guys to get away, Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin. Gordon now trying to get third from Keselowski, bringing the 41 of Kurt Busch now to the inside of Brad, and here comes Brad's teammate Logano. Outside the top 5, you have Kevin Harvick in the 7th spot, Carl Edwards, Casey Kane, and then you have soon-to-be Kyle Busch in the 18. That will make it all 4 of the JGR Toyotas up inside the top 10. Should Busch get by McMurray. But in 12th place, Brian Vickers, the only driver in the field who was able to, comes right down on the nose of Allmendinger. But anyway, Brian Vickers, the only guy in the field who was able to lock himself a spot in this race by winning a race this season. See, Allmendinger got a win last year, so did Almirola. Vickers got a win this year at Daytona. His teammate David Reagan almost won at Talladega, but got passed in the tribal by Almirola. And then to see back here outside the top 10, the 2 Hendrick cars who have not been in victory lane yet this season, Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson right now running 15th and 16th. It's really unlikely. It's really non-normal for the 88 and the 48, as they were still racing pretty hard right out here, right outside the top 10. And Greg Biffle, Eric Almirola, Tony Stewart, and Clint Boyer, Kyle Larson, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. It looks like he's been up on the outside wall. So he has damage on the rear end of that Fastenal Ford and a lot of damage on the right side. And up front, battle for the lead, Denny Hamlin to the inside of Matt Kenseth. And he clears him off turn 2, but Matt's trying to fight back on the outside. Can't make it happen. Now that brings up 24, Jeff Gordon to the inside of Kenseth. Gordon, another guy who has 2 wins this season. And here comes the 41 of Kurt Busch, pushing the 24. The top 5 has driven away from the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Kevin finished 2nd in this race 1 year ago. Joey Logano 7th. Carl Edwards, Casey Kane, and Kyle Busch was able to get around McMurray. Vickers is now 11th. Jr. and Johnson jobbing by the 47 of A.J. Allmendinger. Got that big win at Watkins Glen last year. And right now, the way things stand, looks like Sonoma or Watkins Glen could be AJ's best friend to make the chase. Almirola got that big win at Daytona last year. Might be kind of hard for him to make the chase this year, unless he gets another win. Well, he got that win at Talladega just a couple of weeks ago. Greg Biffle does not have a win yet this season in that Ortho Ford. Tony Stewart does not have a win. Clint Boyer, these 2 guys are outside the top 20 in points. Boyer and Stewart. Kyle Larson and Stenhouse, they have really lost field. Oh, Ricky's right up ahead of these guys, racing for the lead. We've seen a lot of guys lose wins this season because of lap traffic, and Denny Hamlin out in front of the field. Can he get around Ricky safely and cleanly? As Harvick and Logano has been able to catch Keselowski and Kurt Busch, and here comes Hamlin on the inside of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to put him 1 lap down. And Gordon just pushing Kenseth down into turn 1, almost turns that 20 car. You gotta expect that, seeing that 20 car match getting really sideways with that 24 pushing him like that. It's really unnecessary for Jeff Gordon to be doing that. And that's just pushing Matt right, up into his teammate Denny Hamlin. Here comes that 41 of Kurt Busch. 3 cars, nose to tail. I'm sure you can't put a piece of paper between that 20 and that 24, as the Gordon's giving him a great push down into turn 1, possibly sending Matt a little bit too fast than he wants to go. The top 9 cars have all gotten away from the 17 Stenhouse, and have also gotten away from the new 10th place runner Brian Vickers. Logano on the inside of Brad Keselowski, and here comes Kenseth to the inside of Denny Hamlin. And Jeff Gordon got that big win last weekend at Kansas. After Denny Hamlin looks like Denny and Kurt was going to win that race, along with Casey Kane was in the mix, but Josh Wise got turned off turn 4. Well, I want to say it was by Cole Witt. Josh spun down the track. Denny and Casey Kane both ran into the 98 car, along with a lot more of our leaders in that race. and Denny lost the win. Jeff Gordon was the first guy by, and he got the win. Kansas now up back in the lead, but Denny fighting back on the inside of the 24, Jeff Gordon. Stenhouse is now one lap down. Kyle Larson, he's 13 seconds behind, but he's not as slow as the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who is about, where's Ricky? About almost 2 seconds off. Battle for third now. Kurt Busch on the inside of Denny Hamlin. That will be for third. They put some distance on the 2 of Keselowski, but now he's jumping back to the back bumper of the 41 as Brad had a nice turn 1 and 2. Logano, Harvick, and Carl Edwards still hanging in there as they've driven away from the 5 of Casey Kane. And we have guys coming down pit road now. Matt Kenseth, the first guy to lead them onto the pit road. As we have 12 to go. Kenseth, Gordon, Kurt Busch, Keselowski, and Casey Kane are on pit road. And well, maybe we have trouble in the back. Brian Vickers, Jimmy Johnson, and AJ Allmendinger. They have crashed right on the entrance of pit road, right off turn 4. That will be either a big break or a bad break for Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, all these guys. I believe that might be a good break. Just depends who will. Yeah, I think that would probably be a good break for these guys. Because caution's out, the field will be frozen. I don't know how they will work this out. But Hamlin, Harvick, Logano, and Carl Edwards will all put a lap down right, or they're all stayed up right there. There's a 48, Jimmy Johnson, a 4-time winner in this $1 million race, and he's involved in the caution involving Brian Vickers and AJ Allmendinger. And it looks like it happens right up ahead with Vickers and McMurray. It looks like Vickers might have been wanting to come down pit road. He got trimmed by the 18 of Kyle Busch, and nowhere to go for Allmendinger, and nowhere to go for the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. And there's Boyer, Biffle, and Stewart. They were all able to get to pit road, but right there, as you see, pit road was not open when the 14, the 16, the 15, and the 42 came down pit road. So first guy off pit road of the guys who pitted was the 20 of Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, and Casey Kane. Oh man, what's happening up here? I believe Kenseth won the race off pit road, but Jeff Gordon is actually in front of Matt. And here they are driving, trying to get around all these guys, and Matt just dumped Gordon, sent Gordon down in the grass. So Gordon probably has some dirt on his tires now, but we'll see how that works. And Jeff Gordon is being credited with the lead, I think. Now Denny Hamlin's being shown as the race leader, but we'll see if this updates at the line. No, Gordon is not your leader. We can tell you that the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, the 47 of AJ Allmendinger, and the 55 of Brian Vickers are out the race. The 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is right now 2 laps down. And we're going to have about 6 to go when we go green. I think that's 7. Jeff Gordon is in 10th place. Your race leader is the 11 of Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Carl Edwards, and Ryan Newman. McMurray, Kyle Busch, Almirola, Earnhardt Jr. Those 9 drivers stayed out when the other guys like Gordon, Kenseth, Kurt Busch, and all these guys came down pit road. So 18 cars are on the lead lap, but 9 guys are going to be in line. 10th place Jeff Gordon is at the tail end of the lead lap, and he'll restart right in front of the leaders. So if Hamlin or any of these guys back here gets around any of these guys up here, it will be 1 lap down. So that is a tough break for Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Casey Kane, Tony Stewart, Boyer, Biffle, and Larson. Especially those top 5 guys, all the way down to Casey Kane, because they were running up inside the top 10. So that's very unfortunate for them. Back here is where Denny Hamlin is your leader, and this is where the show will begin, right here, with 7 to go from Charlotte. And Kevin Harvick in second. Hamlin moves high on the outside of the 42 of Kyle Larson. Logano to the inside of Kevin Harvick. Hamlin leaves some inside opening. Here comes Logano. And Hamlin almost gets turned by Harvick. Then he bounces off the 15 of Clint Bowyer. And Logano moves by into the lead, bringing Carl Edwards with him in the 19. Then he's trying to get down, but he has his teammate right there. They lap the 42 of Kyle Larson and the 15 of Clint Bowyer. Now they're putting a lap on the 16 of Greg Biffle. And we got Carl up in the outside while he's flipping over. Denny Hamlin in second behind the 22 of Joey Logano. Logano trying to win $1 million. I think he's going to hold off. Down into turn 3. Denny pushing them. They come off turn 4. I don't think we'll be going back green this time. Coming down to the line, Joey Logano possibly has just won $1 million. After Carson comes out with Carl Edwards, Clint Bowyer, Ryan Newman, all go up in the outside wall, which sends Edwards up and over in that era's Toyota. That is a big kick for the 19 as he was on the inside of Kevin Harvick. Did the 19 get help from the 31? Yes, he did. Ryan Newman turns Carl up the track and Clint Bowyer. This is a innocent bystander. Wrong place at the wrong time. And what a heartbreak for the 19 of Carl Edwards, who had a great shot to win the race. One of those guys battling for that lead back in the mid-pack. But this is a great big break for the 20 of Kenseth and all these guys. But the bad news is, I don't think we're going to go back green, because NASCAR will make us run like 80 piece laps. I wish we could go back green, but I don't believe we'll be able to do that. Yeah, just too many piece laps you have to do. Actually, no. NASCAR will be letting us race one more lap. So Joey Logano has not won the race yet, so don't cash the paycheck yet. Denny Hamlin has one lap, a restart, and 4 turns to get it done. Hamlin second, but Kevin Harvick has his Boston teammate Tony Stewart between Logano and Hamlin and Harvick. And then it's like another 2 cars back to Kyle Busch in the 18. Eric Almirola having a great run inside the top 5. McMurray, Earnhardt Jr., Kenseth, Gordon, and Keselowski. Kurt Busch and Casey Kane are 11th and 12th. 13th is the 14 of Tony Stewart, Greg Biffle, and Kyle Larson. They're all 1 lap down. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is 2 laps down. And out the race are Ryan Newman, Carl Edwards, Clint Bowyer, Jimmy Johnson, A.J. Allmendinger, and Brian Vickers. So how nervous does the 22 have to be? As the top 2 have not won a race in 2015 and have never won this $1 million race before. Kevin Harvick, he's won it before back in 2007. But Kyle Busch and Eric Almirola, they've also never won the race. Can Denny get a good restart? And can he get around the 22 Logano? Coming down in the green flag. Green flag is back out, and Denny's right there in the back bumper of the 22. And he has to make a move quickly, and here he goes to the inside. Battle for the lead, Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano. Hamlin has a nice run in turn 1. Can he get him off turn 2? He almost had them clear, but Logano fighting back on the outside. Here comes Harvick in third. They race down into turn 3. Denny on the inside. Can Logano get the run on the outside? Coming down turn 4. Hamlin clears them. Out of turn 4. Denny Hamlin wins the 2015 Sprint All-Star race at Charlotte. Meaning 3 of the 4 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas in the field have now gotten drivers, 3 of their drivers, a win in the Sprint All-Star race. Denny Hamlin gets it done on a last lap pass on the 22 of Joey Logano. Kevin Harvick third, Kyle Busch and Jamie McMurray getting a top 5 in that 1 car. So what the story of this will be for Denny Hamlin. Gets that first win of 2015, and it's not a points race, so this win can't put him in the chase, but still it makes Denny Hamlin $1 million richer and $1 million or 1 million times happier. So great win for the number 11 of Denny Hamlin. And here is your official results. Dale Jr., Almirola, Kurt Busch, Casey Kane, and Brad Keselowski. Tough break there for Matt Kenseth and Jeff Gordon, 11th and 12th. They had a much better car than that. Here's McMurray. The next weekend, we are going to stay down here in Concord as the NASCAR Spring Up Series will be live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Coca-Cola 600. All 42 cars will be back in that race for 30 laps of racing here at Charlotte. Until next time, congrats to Denny Hamlin as he is the winner of the 2015 Sprint All-Star Race. Goodbye, everyone.